And right now, I want to give you this live look at stocks. It spent some time in the four-digit territory already today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is still hanging around that 900 mark, doing very well, especially considering what's happened Monday and the end of last week. Look at all that green territory all morning long. The NASDAQ is up almost 400. S&P 500 up over 100 right now. And from Wall Street, we take you to Main Street, where nerves are on edge as President Donald Trump's tariffs continue to send markets around the world spiraling. This morning, markets calmed. However, the political turmoil is now heating up. NBC's Peter Alexander explains even CEOs are lobbying for relief.
With President Trump's next round of escalatory tariffs set to go into effect at midnight, the president insists that despite rattled markets and recession fears, he's not considering hitting the pause button.
We're not looking at that.
After the president initially said every country has called to negotiate, President Trump's top advisors are now saying more than 50 countries have reached out. European officials offered to eliminate their tariffs on American-made cars and industrial goods if the U.S. will do the same in return. Despite the market suffering their worst days since the start of the pandemic, the president says he's unfazed by short-term financial pain.
I don't mind going through it because I see a beautiful picture at the end.
Administration officials have also been saying Americans will overlook temporary market turmoil.
Americans who have put away for years in their savings accounts, I think they don't look at the day-to-day fluctuations of what's happening.
But many may be invested. Research from the Federal Reserve shows more than half of American households own stock directly or through investment funds. Top Democrats say the president's tariffs are a self-inflicted wound.
Less than a week after Donald Trump started the largest, dumbest trade war in American history, all the signs say America is heading towards calamity.
For now, most Republicans are standing by President Trump.
But I think you got to give the president the latitude, the runway to do what it is he was elected to do.
Still, there are cracks emerging within the president's party.
If the outcome from these tariffs is really high tariffs from every country on earth against American goods, and really high tariffs from America against goods from every other country on earth, that is going to be really bad for Texas and really bad for America.
That's Peter Alexander reporting. And Trump threatened to slap an extra 50% tariff on China if the country doesn't back down from its retaliatory tariffs announced Friday, meaning it would cost Americans 104% more to purchase goods from that nation. China's Commerce Ministry says the country would fight to the end of the trade war and would continue to stand up to Trump.
China responded to President Trump's threat of additional tariffs with defiance and its own threat of countermeasures to fight a trade war with the U.S. to the end. If President Trump goes through with what he has vowed, this additional 50% tariffs on all Chinese goods going into the U.S., that's 104% on anything consumers buy from China. Clothing, shoes, car parts, toys, tech, household goods, the list goes on. China is very clear in saying it will not back down from imposing countermeasures to what officials here call U.S. blackmail. They see negotiation as legitimizing President Trump's trade blitz that is hitting manufacturing hubs right across Asia. Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, South Korea, they are all signaling they want to negotiate with the U.S., though talks, it seems, are no guarantee of getting tariff relief. Here, a spokesperson for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed there are no talks at any level between the U.S. and China over trade, saying, quote, the U.S. lacks a genuine willingness to engage in serious dialogue. Now, before the markets opened here today, the government unleashed a series of measures to help stabilize the stock market, including share buybacks by several state-owned companies. They're known here as China's national team, and that helped the markets close higher. The deadlines, though, are piling on now. All these back-to-back tariffs are set to take effect over the next 48 hours and threaten to disrupt trade, supply chains, and ultimately raise prices for U.S. consumers down the road. Janice Mackey-Freer, NBC News, Beijing.